At Southwest Airlines, we are committed to doing the right thing by our people, through our performance, and in service to our planet. Our heart doesn't just give back, it gives forward. Doing our work the Southwest way. Because whether in the air or on the ground, we believe community is more than a place. It's at the heart of what brings us together.
Through our long-standing partnership with Latino Leaders magazine, we've been able to see firsthand how the power of celebrating Latino leaders can inspire the next generation. I'm Laura Nieto, Managing Director of Corporate Responsibility. At Southwest Airlines, we believe leadership is about people. Great leadership is about inspiring, serving, and caring about people. Tonight, I'm honored to recognize Mr. Michael Montelongo, a member of the Harvard Business School faculty and President and Chief Executive Officer of GRC Advisory Services, whose achievements are grounded in the principles of authentic leadership. With years of leadership experience in board governance and audit committee financials, Mr. Montelongo's success can be attributed to a robust work ethic and unwavering integrity. Throughout Mr. Montelongo's career, he has been recognized as a supportive colleague, leading change and driving growth in large organizations. So, it won't surprise you that aside from numerous military awards and the highest decorations for civilian service in the Air Force and NASA, Mr. Montelongo is a former presidential appointee and Senate-confirmed official. Named as one of the 100 most influential Hispanics by Hispanic Business, we salute you for being a steadfast champion of how the power of authentic leadership can create meaningful growth and inspire others. On behalf of the more than 70,000 Southwest Airlines employees, we're honored to present the Maestro Award for Leadership to Mr. Michael Montelongo. Congratulations.
The Phoenix 2024 Maestro Award in the category of leadership is presented to Michael Montelongo. A great story of discipline, a formation with strong values, a great story of success in corporate, as an advisor, and also as a board director. Congratulations.
Lately, I have been titling my journey, The Angels Along the Way story. And I'll explain that in just a minute, but that basically describes a very unlikely path, a very unlikely journey from where I grew up in New York City, the Lower East Side of Manhattan, and this is back in, and I'm telling you a little bit about my age too, the 50s, 60s, and 70s when it was very dangerous. We were living in inner city kind of neighborhood, barrio type of neighborhood, and in public housing. This is a story that is a tribute to many people, angels I call them. And the reason I say angels is because when we think of the word angels, we think of people who, or even maybe supernatural entities that have our best interest at heart all the time, that they will do anything on our behalf for our benefit. And so, yeah, I call them angels. My parents, relatives, friends, teachers, mentors, all of these people who played significant roles in shaping how I think about life, career, and leadership. So that's what this story is all about, angels along the way. And as most stories, I think, for everyone begin, it starts with parents. Mine were Miguel and Elena. And Miguel, or my dad, was one of 19 siblings, which is amazing when you think about, you know, how many people, how many families, how large families are today. In my dad's case, the lifeline was, in some ways, was when he got drafted by the Army during the Korean War. And he was stationed in New York. Mom had left Puerto Rico to go live with an aunt in order to make some money to send back to the family. So the two of them met in New York City, and as the phrase goes, the rest is history. They decided to stay there in New York and raise their family. But they understood, being in New York at that time, this is the late 50s, mid-late 50s, the challenges that were before them. They were blue-collar, working-class Latinos, limited facility with the English language, limited formal background or formal education background, living in the inner city in the barrio, and in a dangerous neighborhood. It wasn't like it is now. It's very dangerous at that time. So they were thinking to themselves, well, what are we going to do with our children in this kind of environment? And so for them, they felt the solution for us, me and my siblings behind me, was education. That was going to be the equalizer. So I was going to a Jesuit high school in Lower Manhattan, and once again met some more angels, and some of those introduced to me the idea of considering West Point as a college choice. It was only 50 miles north of us, up the Hudson. But here's another thing. Unlike when we went with our only child and daughter, and then our grandchildren here very recently to visit the schools that they applied to, in that era, that wasn't something that you did. You didn't necessarily go visit the school that you might be going to. So I never visited West Point until the day I had to be there. The first day that I set foot on the campus grounds was the day I had to be there. Now, what I've told many of my friends and my family is that, again, honestly, if I had actually visited the place and seen what it was all about, I probably would not have gone, because the culture there and the expectations were so different than anything that I had experienced in the world that I had been in Lower Manhattan. I've had the good fortune of having multiple careers under the banner of a career, a military career, a government official, being a corporate executive, and lately an academic career. And so I loved that. It wasn't something that I necessarily planned. Thankfully, these opportunities came my way and I was able to take advantage of them. But I have always loved variety, even though I was with, for example, with the military for 2 decades. I did some of the military things that one would think of, the traditional things, but I also got the opportunity to do things that were non-traditional, that the Army gave me the opportunity to, for instance, on a scholarship, go to graduate school. And it was graduate school at a Harvard Business School, of all things. I mean, I was thinking, goodness, West Point was one thing, and now I had the opportunity to go to Harvard Business School. And then after that, they asked me to go back and teach at West Point. Little did I ever think when I was a cadet, sitting there in the classroom, looking at my instructors, my professors, that someday I would be doing the same thing. It was like an out-of-body experience. And it was it was awesome. It was awesome not only because I had the opportunity to connect with cadets at that time, but our daughter was born there. And she continuously reminds me that the closest she'll ever come to ever being part of West Point is just because she was born there. I did have an ability to engage with all different types of people. And regardless of, what ages they are, or what seniority they have, or what status they have. I felt I was very comfortable in engaging with people like that. And something that I had not yet told you in terms of the threads throughout my Angels Along the Way story, because I've talked about them, the angels, I've talked about service, I've talked about education. I haven't talked about one element that has helped me with connections and relationships, and that's my music. I am a guitarist and a singer, and I had bands at every single grade level every single grade level that I went to school in. So for instance, at high school, I had a band. At college, I had a band. And graduate school, I had a band. And in each of those instances, because music is such a universal connective language, I was able to form some very deep and lasting friendships with people even to this day. And so I think that the combination of being able to connect with people in whatever station that they're at, and then given that I came from some modest and humble beginnings, that I really had something and potential to be able to pass that along and have an impact on others and other organizations. As I think about my own journey, the Angels Along the Way journey, I guess what I would pass along to young people is a couple of things that I'm thinking about here, which is one of them is do everything that you humanly possibly can to prepare for opportunities. You have to do the sweat equity. There aren't any shortcuts. There really aren't. And so it takes a great degree of determination. Ambition, yes, but determination that, yes, I'm going to give it everything that I have, and I'm going to take every challenge as an opportunity to surmount that challenge. Approach all of that with a strong sense of self, a strong self-awareness of who you are. In fact, who you are must speak as loudly as what you do and what you say. It has to. And convey in your interactions as you're preparing, as you're seeking opportunities, that you are a person that is a leader of character, that you are a person that is purposeful, that you have a meaningful agenda, an agenda that inspires others to be part of it, to be part of something that's larger than themselves. Be somebody that's trustworthy in what you do and what you say. Somebody of high integrity. And then finally, if you do nothing else, be grateful. Be grateful, especially to those that have worked for you, that work alongside you. Affirm the sacrifices that they've made. Because when you're able to do that and they see that you acknowledge the contributions they've made, they will feel like they are valued and treasured. And I would tell any young person that pursues something like that, enjoy the journey. Bring joy to others as you're doing this.